Hi, everyone, and welcome to another session in the Sport Horizon webinar series. I'm Ciaran Deely, and today we're going to be speaking about how to harness data and business intelligence solutions to drive strategic insights. I'm joined today by somebody who blends football insight with deep data expertise. So, Mihajlo Jovanovic, who's a senior BI developer with more than 6 years' experience in a variety of organizations. And also, very importantly, he is a semi professional footballer, a striker with over 100 career goals. And the reason I mentioned that obviously is that he manages then to bring real on-field understanding to his analytic work. So I think he's fulfills quite a unique position, I think, in that sense. Today he'll walk us through three different Tableau dashboards showing how BI tools can drive strategic insights in sport, and also we'll have a few questions as well about how we can harness data and business intelligence solutions. So, Mihajlo, you're very welcome. I'm delighted to have you on board. Obviously, you've been involved in co-creating our course with Sport Horizon, the Tableau for Performance Analyst Level 1, which people can find over on our website. That's www.sporthorizon.co.uk. So I'm delighted you've agreed to come on for episode 3 of Sport Horizon webinar series. Could you please give us a little bit of an overview of your career, both in BI and maybe throw in a little bit about your football career as well?
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, Ciaran, for having me, and I'm very happy to be part of this episode 3. And of course, you gave me a great introduction. So yeah, first of all, thank you for that also. And so yeah, as you already mentioned, I'm a senior business intelligence developer who've been working in various areas of type of companies, corporate, startup, and consulting roles in basically in a business intelligence world. And beside that, I'm a, as you said, a semi-professional football striker, and I've been very happy to be part of this type of project where I can actually combine my football experience and my professional experience. So that's perfect match for this. And also a little bit more about the tools which I use. So I have been using Tableau for more than 6 years so far. Also, Power BI, Looker, and Google Cloud, and other techniques in business intelligence world. So yeah, once more, very happy to be part of this, and we can continue.
Great. Okay. Thanks very much. I think you're in a unique position because obviously we often have sports scientists or performance analysts who have experience of working in Power BI or Excel, obviously, and Tableau and everything like that. But you kind of come from a slightly different area of that business intelligence solutions is like your bread and butter and what you're working in every day, and then you've managed to apply that into the sporting world and especially into football. So I kind of want to like I want to speak a little bit about that rather than just look at your dashboards, because I think our audience will be quite interested in that area. So we'll kick off with a few quick questions before you then jump into your dashboards that we'll have a look at. Okay, so the first one is why is mastering business intelligence so important for practitioners working in sporting clubs today?
All right, very good question. So actually, I will first start with explain the importance and how actually widely is spread the business intelligence in all companies. So there's a couple of facts that actually 85% of the companies in the world have some type of BI reporting. And also, second, very important fact is that 92% of large enterprises with more than 10,000 people in their employees are actually have also some type of BI reporting. So that's easy to understand how that is important in business world. But also beside that, in the football, any type of football coaches, analysts, scouts, or any other similar roles in football, we all know that any player performance, any type of work or whatever we try to measure, it's very important, and we all make a lot of reporting. So, and this reporting actually bring us to the position of the business intelligence to come up and to help practitioners and the individuals in football, because all those manual reporting takes a lot of time. There's a lot of room for errors, and all of these are part of the daily part of the roles. So that's why I believe that BI can actually really help individuals in football.
Y- Yeah, that's great because when we speak to practitioners, we're always talking about trying to take out that human error of the data flow where, people are working in Excel and doing up reports and the amount of errors that can happen and copy and paste data and everything like that. So it's really important and it's interesting. More and more practitioners now are jumping on BI solutions, whether that's Power BI or Tableau or some of the other ones that you've mentioned, which would be quite interesting to talk about maybe in the future. We might be migrating into those areas as well a bit.
Exactly as you said, I think the everybody started from Excel and any type of work, any type of reporting, whoever did any type of report, everything started from Excel, and Excel will probably never leave us. But still, if there are better way, and if we can improve both technically and visually on by using any type of BI reporting, I think that's a very good thing to do.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well when you mention about like those big businesses, how many of them BI is ingrained into the setup, and maybe like sports are coming to this arena late. And I'm just thinking as well of that maybe some of these sports scientists who are like upskilling, hopefully from our courses, but other places as well, like they could have a career change as well of like working in finance or banking or I don't know, some other.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? But I think the main reason why a lot of these clubs didn't have already structured BI tools is actually that because all those large companies which have BI reporting, they need to show those reports to large audiences.
Mm.
And in football, when you find out something very important, you're not going to show to a lot of people. You're going to show to your coach, to the head coach, and stuff like that. So I think that's the reason why not. But now with the modern football, a lot of clubs have a very huge staff and a lot of coaches there. So I think that's gonna just come up with a logical as a next step.
That's interesting. I never thought of it that way, but that's really interesting. Okay, can you walk us through the journey you take then with an organization when you're sitting down to with them, when they come to you with like performance related questions?
Yeah, of course. I would then in that type of question I would come up with the answer where the one of the most important parts in data roles and in reporting roles, which I learned a lot of years ago, is that the way of thinking of the person who is actually receiving the request for type of report. What I mean by that, so each of those reporting roles, they have either managers or coaches above them who gonna ask some question. Okay, I need this metric, build me this. What is the number of goals which somebody scored for a full year, stuff like that. And you're gonna be, if you just build a report and give to them, after that they don't get the additional background of the data or maybe additional information which can be combined with that. It's gonna be a next question like do this or do that. So I always, my best advice for everybody who starts with reporting is always think what is the final goal of that person, why they ask. Like think about the whole business in that moment. What is additional question going to be asked forward? And then before you start building any type of report, you're going to be asking multiple questions to them. Why you need this? How often you're going to need this? From where is data coming from? And then you're gonna give your expertise on how to visualize that, how to build a dashboard which is gonna be a storytelling, how the users can gonna be able to see that results in a couple of seconds on that type of dashboard or type of visualization and stuff like that. So I think not being shy to ask right questions on the beginning is the game changer for any type of reporting role at all.
Yeah, I really like that. And it's like I remember when I started in QPR Academy over 10 years ago, and one of the coaches, well-known coach, said to me, like, there are no bad questions. There are no stupid questions. The more questions you ask, the better. And I like that, like the different communication style or the different learning styles of each individual. So whether that's a coach, a player, a sports scientist, a medical profession. Some people like just a table of data. Some people like, your bar charts. Some people like scatter plots, but also just how that those insights are disseminated as well. that people enjoy, some people enjoy getting a link, they click on it on their phone and they'll see all the information. Other people like just a printed out copy. And of course, as you know, like lots of people just want a conversation, as well. Maybe that's not appropriate for a large organization, but it can be appropriate at times.
Exactly. Not only that, I think also this new era of AI is coming to the position where if you're gonna be the person in the reporting, where you're gonna just give the answer high on a top level, you're gonna be easily replaced by AI. So it's gonna be just like you need to show your story, you need to show your way of thinking in that business, and all of that is bringing yourself larger value and helping in a different way of actually just building the simple report. This is the highlight of it, and that's it. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, very good. Okay, number three, which BI tools should people be prioritizing right now? You've mentioned some. I'm really interested to hear a little bit more. And also, then, what's the best way to start upskilling other than your Sport Horizon courses?
All right. Yes. So I think right now the most used, let's say like that, are Tableau, Power BI, and Looker. There is a lot of more depending on the part of the world where actually companies are using, and I think that they all provide that depending on the level of reporting you want, they all provide similar, but they are very different in other ways. For example, Looker is an enterprise type of tool, very expensive, but it have a large power of computing and running queries behind. So their semantic layers and LookML modeling layers are very different than Power BI and Tableau. So if you have a very large organization, you're probably going to be focusing on Looker because Looker have actually going to save you a lot of money if you have a large data sets. But when I say large, I mean like very, very large.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Combining this to the football positions and in football industry, I think both of Power BI and Tableau are very, very good, depending how wide you want to spread your BI reporting inside of the cloud. So both Power BI and Tableau are very easy to learn. There's a various information online. So Tableau, for example, have a really great community with answering a lot of questions. Both of them have some type of AI already incorporated in them. So there's a lot of very interesting things. And I think the main difference between, which I would highlight between the Power BI and Tableau is, first of all, Tableau is like a little bit more, you can build a little bit more advanced visualization and more custom-made visualization in Tableau versus Power BI. But that also depends how deep you want to go into the type of visualizations in your organization. Also, Power BI is a part of Microsoft, so it's kind of actually going to be very available for a lot of companies, especially in Europe, because Microsoft is very widely spread in Europe, but also in the northern part of the Europe, Looker with the Google also can take some part. So they are kind of, as I said, similar, but also not too similar. So basically, based on that, I would say the best way how you should learn, try to maybe learn a little bit Power BI, a little bit Tableau, see what actually brings you, uh, maybe maybe help you to build reports on an easier way. And also there's a different type of videos where you can actually learn that on a simple way.
Yeah, yeah. Because even like all you need to do is a quick search on YouTube and you'll actually find loads of different channels and little snippets and walking you through the basics to being more advanced level. And yeah, can be, and as you say, just open up the workbook and start playing around with it and see how you feel. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, also maybe one additional thing is that also this sharing the reports in the organization, depending on, for example, you have a Tableau server which you can incorporate in your the BI organization for not a very expensive part. So maybe that can add additional value depending how large you want to spread that BI reporting, as I said, in your club.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, how can coaches, analysts, and other staff take a more collaborative approach to harnessing the data and the BI tools within the organization?
Yeah, this is exactly what I mentioned a couple seconds ago. So Tableau have the Tableau server, which actually can be built in as a main center for whole reporting for one club. And then based on a different type of license, you can have a couple of developers, couple of users who actually going to only view the reports. You can have a type of users who can edit workbooks online. But the whole point of that is actually having automated reports already built and prepared by someone, and that you don't need to upload new data every day. You don't need to build new reports, refresh pivots, or add calculations. And all that manual work with that type of server and organized reporting in one club is going to be a very big game changer, especially if you have multiple people working on them. Because all we know that sending Excels all over around the organization and somebody changed this and then send forward and stuff like that, you don't know which version is the last one. And all of those things are actually solved with the BI reporting and options with Power BI and Tableau. So I think that's something which clubs should look forward, and that the best way how they can leverage the BI tools.
Okay, great. Really interesting intro to the whole business intelligence world, because I think in practitioners in clubs and and national associations and everything like that across any sport, we tend to think in terms of let's just learn Power BI, let's just learn Tableau in order to, gain the insights that we need to, or just to produce the report. So it's interesting to hear more of a background of like this business intelligence world, and how it came about, how widespread it is, and the reason why you can kind of harness these in order to, harness the data to give the insights. So I think that's really interesting. Okay, I did mention at the beginning that Mihajlo co-developed our course with Sport Horizon, the Tableau for Performance Analysts Level 1, which has been really popular. So make sure head over to the website sporthorizon.co.uk and you'll see some information about it there. So it's designed for performance analysts, for sports scientists, for scouts, and even for coaches as well who want to look at performance in the matches, especially, and maybe training as well. There's no need for prior knowledge of Tableau or coding. So Mihajlo, who is the tutor on the course, will take you step by step right from the beginning on how to connect to the data, how to manipulate it, clean it, and then analyze it, and finally visualize it in reports and dashboards, and then communicate that to your coaches and teams. So you learn how to structure, to visualize it, and as I mentioned, clean it and everything like that with the data. The key thing with it is that we wanted to also then enable you to actually build out reports. So it can be team reports, player reports, scouting reports. So instead of just showing you or speaking about the theory of it and showing you little step by steps, by the end of each module, you should be able to produce a report then that you can use straight away with your team. And it's been brilliant to see different practitioners putting up visuals up on LinkedIn and elsewhere who've actually used it straight away in their club and will help their careers, we hope. So we're using real football data sets. We use in this case, coming from Mihajlo's experience in the real world, and kind of, I guess, a lot of the practitioners who've come through our courses are involved in professional football clubs as well. We've had loads of people in across different national associations and clubs and academies who've used it, and it's a nice kind of practical way to build out your skills and create dashboards that will actually enable you to support decision making. So make sure to head over to the website, have a look at that course, and it's a really interesting one with a great tutor in Mihajlo. Okay, we're going to move on to the dashboard showcase where Mihajlo will take us through three of his dashboards now.
Okay, so here I'm going to be presenting a couple of dashboards as Ciaran already explained. So the first one where we're going to start is this team performance report. So this is the second dashboard of our course where you're going to be teaching each step by step how to each this part of visualization you can actually build. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about why we build this on this way, what is the idea of the report, and what actually you can find with these visualizations. So to start with top left part, here you have a filter for specific teams in your data set. As you can see, we have built a logo for each team. Of course, this is a dummy data, but it's structured on exactly the way how original data is for each club. And on the top left here, you have a match date range, so you can limit from where to where you want to look the specific match data for the specific club you want to analyze. Also here you have a logo and the name of the club. So actually when you change something, it's going to be automatically switched to the logo of the different club and stuff like that. On this second part of the visualization, which is one of the main part for this dashboard, is actually data based on the match result. So this visualization here shows us a split of different competitions. And based on the dates, you can see what is the form of those clubs. So was it a loss? Is it a win or draw based on a different signs? So we did color coded that and added the shapes for each specific thing. And also you can choose, do you want to see both home and away or just away results or home results? So it's a very, very good tactic to see the current form of the specific team which you want to analyze. Beside that, below you have two different, I would say, classic type of charts. So you have a statistic for the specific metrics. So you can choose which metrics you want to include in this part of the dashboard. So it's totally liquid. And on the right side, you can see the various trend over time for the similar metrics. So you can choose, for example, passes or long passes or maybe shots and goals and stuff like that. And then you're going to be able to visually see the difference and how was their trend and what was maybe causing some issues or good results and stuff like that. Also, the part which I didn't mention at the beginning, here you have a match stats. So there's a number of matches, goals, yellow card, red card, but also when you see how we build this, you can put any type of data or any type of details which you want to add for this specific team which you want to analyze. So that would be all for this first dashboard. So let's jump to the next one. All right, so this is going to be our second dashboard, which we're going to be presenting here. So this is individual player performance report. So as you can see, we have a lot of different things in this dashboard. But on the top left, I'm going to start as a previous one. We have a first logo of the club where player plays and the picture of the player. So this is also automatically made and you can switch that by choosing a different player. And then all those stuff, details about the player is going to be changed automatically. So there's a name, age, team, primary position, strongest foot, and also again the main stats regarding the matches played, average minutes played, goals conceded, and yellow cards and red cards on the bottom part. So this is the first part of it. And this filter for selecting player is the most important here because this dashboard is built in the way that you want to analyze specific player versus the rest. As you can see this scatter plot here with a lot of colors, there's options to adjust that how you actually want. So it's a very custom made, and also there is a multiple options how to slice that whole data set which is behind. So I'm going to first explaining what is this here on the top right. So there's a player age. So right now we can see that our player, which we did picked on in the filter, is showing as a small person here, and everybody else are the small circles. Different colors are actually different primary positions. So for example, if you want to combine your player which you choose against other positions, you can do that. But of course, as I said, that's not kind of logical. So maybe you want to do that only versus that exact position. So what you're going to do here, you're going to choose attacking midfielder. And then you're going to see all attacking midfielders in your data set and with two different axes and two different metrics. Here, right now, for this example, we built only offensive and defensive metric. But the goal of this visualization is to teach you how you can build your own metrics and then choose what you're going to put on the x-axis or y-axis. So basically, that's like idea for this. And then based on the summary of that, you can see the scatter plot going to show you who is the best attacking midfielder in the league based on two different metrics. and how far was that player which you want to analyze. Also, if you want, you can put maybe forwards with them together and then combine. So it's a very interesting how you can use it. There is a various splits, and of course you can maybe choose to see only players below 28 years, for example, and then that data set gonna be split. So there is a various options here, but yeah, to put it back as it was. So this is how it looks. And below that, I have built the offensive opportunities, duels, and passes. So there is a various metrics which we have in data set, and we added them to show one of the most important ones, which you can combine with these results. But of course, this is again manually depending on how actually you want to analyze players and your data set. All right. Okay, so this is our third dashboard, which we're going to be presenting in this episode. So this is actually the publicly available data set, which I found on FIFA website regarding the very first VAR season, 2019 to 2020. And I have actually built this visual view of how we can leverage the data and read it on a different ways. For somebody who maybe didn't see already the Tableau, so this is, I didn't went to the full screen automatically. So this is the view how actually is built with a couple of sheets inside and a couple of different parts of visualization there. So when I go to the full screen, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what actually was the idea of building this building this report. So on the top left, we of course have a parameter for choosing a different metrics. So this is a metrics which actually FIFA took out based on, for example, disallowed goals against or for, leading to goals against or for, net goal score, net subjective score, and overturns. So you can actually go over them, but for me, in the first glance when I was building this, it was not really clear what is what. So why I did this, I built this glossary. When you hover over this element, you can actually see their explanation about each of those metrics. Below that, our main part of the visualization with the filter is actually showing based on club logos specific metrics. So for example, disallowed goals against, you can see how many of them was for Brighton in this season. But also if you want to switch that and see maybe for net goal scores, you can actually see what is the effect on whole league and how actually switch. So there's a various results there, so you can play around and find out your own conclusions. And also one part here important is that actually I built this net goal score because that's like a total result, how that affected on the club. And we can see the top 3 positive impact with top 3 clubs which had the most positive like net goal score, and the top 3 negative impact, which I built with top 3 and bottom 3 option in Tableau. So that's it for this. And I find this dashboard very interesting because you can actually find your own conclusion based on playing these filters and reading the different metrics inside.
I think this can be really interesting for practitioners, to be able to build out a dashboard like this or a report like this and be able to show that to the, maybe it's the coaches or whoever it is. And also, obviously, you can choose any variable if you think about it, any metric at all. Like it doesn't have to be about VAR, it can be about anything. And it's a nice way of presenting data and visually like beautiful. I think I really like the crests and everything. It kind of tells a story with the data. It's much easier to get insights from it.
Exactly. I mean that's exactly the power of visualization. Depending on the specific report and request, I didn't want to build here a lot of different charts to be overcrowded. So here's one very simple but powerful visualization, which actually can help person to make decisions based on the data behind.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just interesting. The top 3 positive impacts of the VAR decisions, Man United, it hasn't really helped them. I'm
Exactly.
trying, I'm trying
Exactly.
to think where did they finish in 2020, but yeah, not top anyway.
Yeah. Not sure. Not sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's just a really nice report that you built yourself with Tableau. So you can leave it on that report actually, Mihailo. We'll wrap things up now. That was really interesting. I love looking at the dashboards from the course that you co-developed, but also so it's I always find practitioners love seeing other people's work, other people's dashboards and reports, and just they often pick up ideas and learn from it and go, okay, actually, that's a really nice idea as a template, and edit it and adapt it to their own needs then and come up with something a little bit different. Um, I'm delighted you agreed to come on. I think it's a very interesting area, the whole business intelligence world that sport are kind of belatedly harnessing now, and using the different solutions to kind of harness and leverage the data and to how to use these business intelligent solutions. So thanks for information about that. I think it's something a little bit different for our audience and our members and everything. So that was great. If anybody wanted to reach out to you to ask any questions, to find out more, how are you willing to do that? And also, how would they contact you?
Yeah, of course. You can always find me on LinkedIn. You can easily find me. I'm probably gonna be sharing my LinkedIn somewhere here in a text of the episode. But yeah, also once more, I want to say thank you for inviting me to be part of this episode. I'm very glad to be part of this. As I said, I'm very keen to be part of combining my both professional and football experience together. So very happy to be part of this.
Great. Okay. Yeah. No, I think it's a unique kind of combination of the two worlds coming together. So it's really cool. Okay, that's brilliant. So you can reach out to Mihajlo on LinkedIn, send him a direct message or a comment on one of his posts. Of course, as well, you can reach Mihajlo with any questions that you want, either on Sport Horizon YouTube channel. And also on LinkedIn as well. So send myself, Ciaran Deely, a direct message, or email us on info@sporthorizon.co.uk for our previous course members. So anybody who has signed up to any of our Power BI or Tableau courses with Sport Horizon, of course, our WhatsApp community, just send a message there. Mihajlo is in there, and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer any questions about anything in this episode, on the course, the Tableau for Performance Analyst Level 1, or on any other question or issue about business intelligence solutions. Okay, thank you everybody for watching and for listening in. We'll see you on the next episode of our Sport Horizon webinar series. And once again, Mihajlo, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for calling me.